So this is episode 3, yes, of Asked and Answered. So we have a question. By the way, I want to remind you people, we're not getting enough questions. So I don't know what you're doing out there, but get on your email, the computer thing, and send us some questions. Send Sydney the question, send me the question. We need things to answer, or otherwise I'm just going to nap all day. So, what's our question today, Sid?
All right, so today's question is, in this day and age where all we hear about is trading, is buying and holding in a portfolio still a thoughtful strategy?
Oh, that's a great question. So, the answer is buying and holding quality issues, whether those be stocks or mutual funds or ETFs or whatever, yes, is still, in my opinion, not only a thoughtful strategy, but really the only strategy. Trading, we know statistically when we look at some of the platforms out there that will go unnamed, that the average trader in a platform, again, names will go unmentioned, are typically at a loss. So most people are losing on their trades. And we know that the average size of those accounts is somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. So these, and I'm not diminishing that amount of assets, but what I am saying is these are not sophisticated people doing this, and the results show that. But when we talk about buy and hold, I've often used the analogy somewhat poorly, I guess. I'm trying to refine this. Hopefully I'll refine it in this video. Is the idea that if you went to the blackjack table, and we all know when you go to the blackjack table, the house has the advantage, right? Because we know that ties go to the runner, so to speak, or to the house in this case. But think of it this way. We know statistically that there are bear markets every 3 to 5 years. When I look at reviewing accounts this year and going back and looking at some of my accounts that are 20 years old, on average, I'm seeing 3 or 4, depending on the portfolio, negative years out of 15 or 20 years. So we also know that there are no 20-year periods, with I think maybe one exception, somebody can fact check me on that, where you could have bought and held, say, the S&P 500 or the Dow and lost money. It literally doesn't exist. There are very few 10, and there's really not even that many 5. So in any given year, sure, you could be down. But the reality is it's like going to the blackjack table and sitting down, and in the first hour, the odds are the odds, right? The house has the advantage. You know that you could lose, especially in a tie. But think about it in the second hour this way, that now the odds are even. And you just by staying at the table, they've said, well, it's hour 2, so now the odds are even, meaning if there's a tie, nobody wins. In hour 3, the dealer says to you, you know what? If there's a tie, you win. So now the odds have just moved in your favor. In hour 4, the dealer says to you, listen, if I beat you by 1, you still win. And so on and so forth. So if you stay at the blackjack table for 24 hours, which some of you do, if you stayed at the blackjack table for 24 hours, it would be almost impossible for you to lose. So time in the game, staying at the table, absorbing all the free drinks, which might not be the best strategy, that is like the market. In other words, the longer you hold on to a quality position being the key point here, I'm not talking about meme stocks or whatever's on Reddit tomorrow. I'm talking about quality Dow, S&P type issues. It's almost impossible through time to screw that up. So I guess the thesis is yes, or the answer to the question is yes, time in the market, buy and hold of quality issues makes a lot of sense. That does not mean, because some people, the world become very binary, black and white. There's nuance here. The nuance is maybe there's a tax strategy. You had a loss. You want to take advantage of the loss to offset some gains. Maybe you do that. Maybe you sit out for 31 days. You get back in. Maybe there's just a rebalance at the end of the year where tech's been fantastic and you need to reduce your tech exposure to add to your industrial exposure. These are just examples, obviously. But on average, quality issues, whether, those are stocks or mutual funds or ETFs, that is still a viable. In fact, in my mind, it's the only strategy. I find it interesting. A client or a potential client might come to me, say at 55 or 60, they're getting ready to retire. They've spent their entire life saving in a 401k, building up a pension, building up a savings. They've been diligent, responsible, practical, disciplined. 4 key ingredients, and then they come and they want to throw all that out the window so they can trade. So you're telling me what got you to 7 figures or more, and sometimes 8 figures, what got you there, you want to completely abandon because you saw a commercial on TV with some knucklehead dancing on a yacht. Is that where we're going with this? So yes, the answer to the question is yes. Buy and hold is still a thoughtful strategy with some nuance, but on average, it's much better than trading.